From claims of rigged elections to far-right conspiracy theories, South Korea is grappling with an extraordinary moment in its political history. President Yoon Suk-yeol and his supporters have repeatedly alleged election fraud, a claim that has spiraled into a national controversy. But why do they believe in these conspiracy theories, and what does this reveal about the state of Korean democracy? President Yoon Suk-yeol has publicly claimed that South Korea's election system is unreliable. These allegations weren't offhand remarks; they were the basis of his unprecedented declaration of martial law on December 3, 2024. In his address, Yoon justified the decision by saying the National Election Commission systems are flawed. How can we trust the results? He even suggested that Chinese hackers played a role in manipulating the outcome. Yet, here's the paradox. If the system was rigged, how did Yoon himself win the presidency in 2022? Critics have pointed out the glaring contradiction in his claims, as well as the lack of any credible evidence. The rise of these conspiracy theories is deeply tied to what experts call a feedback loop. Far-right YouTube channels and media outlets amplify baseless claims. Yoon echoes these claims, and the media reports on them, giving the false perception of legitimacy. For example, the so-called shape memory paper theory is one of the key narratives used by conspiracy theories. This theory originated when some individuals pointed to ballot bundles during the counting process, noting that certain ballots appeared perfectly flat and lacked visible fold marks. They argued that such ballots could not have been folded by voters before being placed into the ballot box, as required by election regulations, and claimed these were manufactured ballots designed to manipulate the election results. But this theory has been thoroughly debunked through legal investigations and court rulings. According to South Korea's election laws, voters are instructed to fold their ballots to protect the confidentiality of their vote. However, the Supreme Court ruled that whether a ballot is folded or not has no impact on its validity, as long as it was issued by election officials and properly marked by voters. Also, the court found that many of the ballots flagged as suspicious did in fact show subtle fold marks when examined under a microscope. In cases where no fold marks were visible, the court identified practical explanations. In some districts with fewer candidates, voters did not need to fold the ballot tightly to fit it into the box or return envelope. Further, ballots undergo multiple steps of handling during counting, such as bundling them in stacks of 100 for sorting and storage. This process, along with the natural properties of the high-quality paper used for ballots, designed for durability and minimal damage, can reduce the visibility of fold marks over time. Ultimately, the courts dismissed claims that unfolded or pristine-looking ballots were proof of fraud. They concluded that all ballots examined were legitimate and issued according to proper procedures, and that the lack of fold marks on some ballots could be explained by a combination of voter behavior, the specific circumstances of their usage, and the properties of the ballot paper. Despite these rulings, the theory continues to persist in far-right circles and circulate within these echo chambers. Another popular but equally unfounded theory is that Chinese hackers infiltrated Korea's election servers. Again, no evidence has been found, but the narrative stokes nationalist fears and distrust. To understand why people believe in these theories, we have to look at the psychological and social factors at play. First, there's the phenomenon of post-truth culture, where emotions take precedence over facts. If something feels true, people are more likely to believe it. Second, confirmation bias leads individuals to seek out information that supports their existing beliefs. And finally, cognitive dissonance makes it difficult for people to let go of false beliefs, even when presented with clear evidence to the contrary. This combination creates an environment where conspiracy theories can thrive, no matter how many times they are debunked. What's happening in Korea isn't an isolated case. In 2021, Donald Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol, fueled by his baseless claims of election fraud. The parallels between Trump and Yoon Suk-yeol are striking.